Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. My name's Calabucas, and once again, we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation startups, the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, smack that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can be notified when new ones come up. If you're on a podcast network, please hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, what was I going to talk about today? You know what? I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about something completely different. So I was thinking to myself, as I was talking to my Alexa the other day, that isn't it funny that we live in a world where we have all of these AI-based virtual assistants, let's call them. But all these virtual assistants don't really work for us, do they? They work for Google, or they work for Apple, or they work for Amazon, or they work for XYZ Corporation. These virtual assistants that we talk to every day, who listen in on our every conversation, they don't work for us. No, they don't work for us at all. They work for whatever corporation has created them. So the Alexa that's sitting on my desk right now is listening in on every bit of my conversation, and it works for Amazon. It's like having an Amazon employee sitting in your office, sitting in your living room. For some of you, sitting in your bedroom. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about an Amazon employee sitting in your bedroom, listening to everything you have to say? Probably not so good, right? Probably not so good. You have these mega corporations sitting in your bedrooms, sitting in your living rooms, sitting in your offices, listening in on everything you've got. Now you might say, Calabucas, well, what's my choice? What's my option? What's my option? Well, right now, you don't really have much of an option. And I think that's a big problem, and that's a big area for startup founders to start working in. We need personal AIs. We need personal AIs. We need an AI that can help us to fight back and negotiate with these corporate AIs. Because right now we're in a very weak position. I mean, we're just human beings. We're just poor human beings with limited brain power. We can only do so much. But if you think about it, Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, or you could say YouTube is Google. All of these companies have so much information on us. All of these companies have so much AI currently sifting through every single possible thing that we do, every single trail that we leave on the internet. They're sifting through every single trail and modifying all of the communications that we get day to day in every application to tell us what we want to hear, to put in front of us the products we want to buy at the exact moment we feel like we should buy them. Now, sometimes it doesn't work, right? I mean, you buy a car, you look for a car, you get tons of car ads, you buy a car, it still doesn't know you bought a car, so you still get car ads. It's not perfect. It's not 100% perfect yet, but it's 100 times more powerful than, 1,000 times more powerful than we are. How can we possibly have a fair fight with these AIs? We can't. Our poor human minds can barely handle it. That's why it's so easy to mess around with people's thoughts and opinions, because our opinions are assigned to us by these AIs. The AIs say, oh, you're going to feel like this. You're going to feel like that. And they make us feel like that because they structure all of the communications around us. They bubble around us to make us feel like that. We are literally defenseless against this. Of course, unless we take everything with a grain of salt, but it's difficult. It's very, very difficult to take everything with a grain of salt. It's very, very difficult to look at your stream that's coming in from every direction, and say to yourself, you know what? I think a lot of this is fake. I think a lot of this is not real. I don't think any of this is necessarily true, but there's no way for me to know. So here's my proposal. Startup founders, innovators, anyone who's out there who's looking to do something in the AI space, we desperately need personal AIs. We desperately need an AI on our side, on the side of the human, who can do battle with the Amazons the Apples, the Googles, the Facebooks, the YouTubes of the world, because we're defenseless against them. We don't have the resources. We don't have the brain power. We don't have the power to go up against these AIs and be able to survive. We will always succumb, unless we're very, very strong-minded, or we decide to step away completely, to what these AIs have in store for us. So we need companies, small firms, not affiliated with these giant behemoths, to come out with a personal AI that I can talk to, that is here for me, that will become my interface between me and all of these AIs that are out there pushing their agenda. Because this personal AI will push my agenda, my family's agenda, my friend's agenda, my relative's agenda, my agenda, the agenda of the human being at the other end of this chain of communications. We desperately need personal AIs to sit between us and the behemoths, so that we can tell our personal AIs, you know what, personal AI, whatever you want to call it, this is what I want. You can tell your personal AI this is what you want, because your personal AI is not going to reveal everything to the behemoths, because it's here for you. It's your personal AI assistant that is on your side against everybody else. It negotiates for you. It buys things for you. It finds the best trip for you, but it doesn't do it based on the rules that these organizations have built. Even things like Kayak and TripAdvisor and those things that are sitting in between, they have their own rules too. This is why we're so much in a desperate need for some companies out there to build a personal AI which is tuned to us, which fights for us, which works for us against the behemoths. Now, if you do this, or if you know of a company that does this, I would love to have you on the show, to interview on the show. Because I don't know if you guys know, if you've been a subscriber for a while, you know the way we operate is that we have 2 interview shows a week. Sunday and Wednesdays are interview shows, and the rest are Think Future Extras, which is what you're getting right now. But I would love, if anyone out there knows of anyone or is currently building a personal AI product, someone I can sign up with and give them all my information and trust that they're the ones that are going to be my go-between between us and the behemoths, then I would love to talk to that person. I think it's well past time that we would have personal AIs fighting on our behalf for our interests as human beings against this huge infrastructure of AIs that we can barely touch, because we are, after all, simple humans. We need AIs on our side to work for us against the behemoths. And if anybody's doing that, I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below, or send me an email directly, chris@hellofuture.co.